Mike. Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1281 of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Season 4 of Yes, We Are Open, the award-winning podcast from Moneris, hosted by FOTM Al Grego. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. The Moment Lab, brand marketing and strategy, PR, advertising, and production. You need the Moment Lab. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Today, making her Toronto Mic debut, is actor, writer, comedian, Isabel Kanaan, but she told me I can call her Izzy, so from now on it's Izzy Kanaan. Welcome to Toronto Mic'd, Izzy.
Thank you for having me. Woo!
Ooh, I love the enthusiasm, and thank you for being here. You came a long way to be here. I almost feel bad, so I will be giving you some gifts to take home with you just to make it worth your while.
Oh my gosh, is it these lovely gifts in front of me?
Oh my goodness, yeah, Izzy. So I have gifts for you, but I did learn something before can I pry a little bit just before we get to know you and your, like I said, your superhero origin story, but
sure.
You do not drink. Am I right in that assumption?
Yes, I don't drink anymore.
So you used to drink?
Yeah.
Did you have a problem with your alcohol consumption, or is that too personal?
No, it's not that. I think it came with age, where as I grew older, I wasn't getting the same hit that I got when I was younger.
You're still so young.
I guess so, but alcohol just hits me differently, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I would get the hangover, but not the fun stuff that happens the night before. So I was like, this is pointless. So
just like you said, hey, I'll drink water.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
Is that what's in this thermos here?
Yes, it is.
So you're not sneaking anything in here, but that's actually H2O.
Yes, just pure H2O.
Okay, so the reason I learned you don't drink is because I offered you a cold beer and you politely declined. So do you live with anyone who consumes alcohol?
Yes, I do, my partner.
You have a partner who drinks beer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what's his name?
Or
her name? I make assumptions. Like I'm from the 80s. See, I slipped there. I've actually retrained myself when I don't make assumptions anymore. What's their name is what I meant to say.
His name.
Oh, his. Okay, it is a his. Okay.
It is a his.
I don't make assumptions.
His name is Andre.
Okay, you're bringing home some fresh craft beer for Andre, and it's courtesy of Great Lakes Brewery. So GLB is sending you home with some fresh craft beer.
Perfect. He's going to love that.
I'm now Andre's best friend.
Yeah, you are. You really are.
Is Andre a giant? I'm looking at my mug here. That's Andre the Giant right there on this mug.
We actually were just talking about Andre the Giant because we were talking about how giants and how their bodies cannot exist in the real world. Anyway, but he is 6'3", so I mean, that's giant-y enough.
It's all relative.
Yeah, giant to me. I'm 5'4", so...
Okay, so a giant to you, and a giant amongst men, and living in the Hammer. How is it going in the Hammer? What's it like living in Hamilton?
Oh, it's lovely. It's like a suburban version of Toronto, but not too suburbia just yet. You know what I mean? It's the perfect balance.
Is it still, what is this? Ralph Benmergui moved, he was a Toronto guy, and he's an FOTM. You're now an FOTM, Izzy. That means friend of Toronto Mike.
Yay!
So Ralph Benmergui moved to Hamilton with his family, and he called it like Toronto's Brooklyn. Like, I don't know.
Yes! That's such a good way of describing it.
Hey. So there you go. I'll hook you up. You can. You'd love Ralph Benmergui, by the way, and maybe your neighbors. For all I know, I don't know how big is. It's pretty big, I guess. Hamilton. So.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. But
just yell his name, Ralph, and see if he he answers you.
If he does, oh my gosh, it's meant to be.
Well, this appearance is meant to be. I got I want to call it I get a lot of emails from people who say, hey, would you talk to this person? I get a lot of these. But yours struck me because you're Filipino-Canadian.
Yeah, represent.
And I married a woman, Canadian, whose family emigrated from the Philippines.
Oh, lovely. So you know the culture.
I know it very, very well. And I have at least one. So one of my 4 children is a Filipino-Canadian, a woman of Filipino descent, a female of Filipino descent. And then I started thinking, about representation and how many actresses do we see out there in movie land and television land and streaming land that are of Filipino descent, like Filipina actors. And then I started thinking, I came up with a couple of names in my head, but not that many. Like the big name I could come up with was Vanessa Hudgens.
Yep, that's the big one.
Yeah. Okay. But then I had to go way back to Wayne's World.
Yes.
Tia Carrera.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Like that's not a lot of representation, right?
Yeah. Hence why I'm doing this, I guess.
Okay, so we're gonna build the superhero, and then we're gonna unveil this latest venture and what you've done to change things. But I was excited to have a long form conversation with an actor, writer, and comedian who is a Canadian living in Hamilton, but born and raised in the Philippines. This was what caught my eye, and I said, yes, I would like to make Izzy an FOTM. This was important to me. So let's build you up. So you're getting beer for Andre, no beer for you. But one more gift before we continue. Do you, Izzy, enjoy Italian food?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. It's what if your rules were I don't do beer and I don't do Italian food? I'd be I have nothing for you. Okay. So I do have now. Okay, one more question. This is really gonna hurt when I get the answers. I'm gonna close my eyes and do a little prayer here. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Are you a vegetarian?
No.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm so relieved. Okay, good. Because I just got a delivery. This box just arrived from Palma Pasta with a large meat lasagna in it. It's frozen solid, so it's going to make it all the way back to Hamilton with you. Put it in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow stick that in the oven for 45 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're going to have, and Andre maybe gets a couple of slices too, but you're going to have delicious Italian, a delicious lasagna from Palma Pasta.
Amazing, and it's all for me because Andre is pescatarian.
Okay, so this is okay. Listen,
We
Andre gets the
complete each
beer.
other.
You get the lasagna.
Exactly.
There's a lot there, so I don't know if there's any friends or family that you can invite over. It's going to be enough for you to eat for a good week there. So those are gifts for you.
Yay!
And did I miss anyone other than Vanessa Hudgens, who my oldest daughter knows well from the those Disney movies?
High School Musical,
Yes.
yeah.
That was
back in
her
the day.
thing, her jam.
Mm-hmm.
And so Vanessa Hudgens, who I don't even know is full Filipino, she might be half Filipino. Do you have any intel on this, Izzy?
I believe she's half.
Yeah, you know what? She's half. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tia Carrera is a long time ago. I don't know what she's been up to, but not a lot of representation. So we're going to talk about how you're fixing things. But can you give me a sense of where you were born and raised? Tell me about your upbringing in the Philippines and then why your family moved here to Canada. Give me that story.
Sure. I was born in Manila, San Juan, Metro Manila, to be more specific. I was born there in 1991 and was there till I was 16. So, I was a full-on teenager.
Yeah. No, 16 is full-on teenager.
I was right in the middle of it. I had a partner at the time. I had my friends. And then my parents were like, we're
And you're
leaving.
in the big city. Manila's a massive city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the energy. I was like, yes, this is where I live. I thrive off this. And then they were like, we're moving to the suburbs of Burlington, Ontario, Canada.
Okay, so when you get this, is there a family meeting?
Okay, so fair enough. This was
Or
a
did you
long
get a heads
time.
up? Heads up.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. They told us that they were applying. This was back in the day. I don't know how long exactly, but years before, they told us they were applying for Canada, specifically because my 2 brothers have autism, and the opportunities in the Philippines, they weren't that great for them. And so them being proactive, they were like, we're going to find a country that would do right by them. And Canada was the one.
Well, actually, I'm happy to hear Canada's the one.
Yes!
Because they obviously did research like, we beat Denmark? Or was that not in the running there?
To be honest, I don't think they.
We beat Australia. Did we beat Australia?
Yes, you
Who
did.
we beat? Just
you
the States,
did.
maybe.
You beat the States, Australia, I believe New Zealand.
Okay.
But also, at the time, I guess Canada was like, yes, let's get immigrants. So that was also a factor.
Okay, and this is great news. So special needs siblings, and we were able to offer the care that they needed here. Now I'm thinking, so my son likes to ask me these trivia questions. I don't know if they're from websites or whatever. This is my third born. Okay, so shout out to Jarvis. He says to me one day recently, he goes, Daddy, if you didn't live in Canada, what country would you want to live in? And I gave it some serious thought. Okay, so I'm leaving Canada. Where am I going to live? Because I've never considered leaving Canada. And I decided Denmark. Like, I'm moving to Copenhagen. Like, this was the answer I came up after, like, really thinking on it and looking at the world. And I said, I'm going to move to, I have no idea what that would entail. And I'm not doing it. It was like a rhetorical question. But that's why I asked you, like, did we beat Denmark? I feel like Denmark is a good place to live. But I'm glad Canada won that decision that your parents had to make.
It is. Although I love Denmark as well. I just love like that area. The Nordic country is, and all of those places are doing extremely well right now. And yeah, but hey, back in the day, it was either Canada, Australia, or the States, I guess, especially in the Philippines. Like that's where people migrate to.
Okay, more questions though. Did you have any extended family that was already in Ontario?
Yes, one.
Okay. Where were they? In Burlington? I'm just wondering why Burlington.
Yes, they were.
Okay, see, I'm deductive logic here. Okay. Who was, what is this, an uncle? Who's in Burlington?
Aunt and her family, so yes, an uncle as well. But it was my dad's sister, and her family moved here in the 90s, sometime in the 90s, and then we moved in, 2008? And they hyped it up, and my parents were like, all right, I guess that's the place for us.
Okay, so we did have this massive advantage. Okay, that is a big advantage. Okay, but we got
Word
your
of
family.
mouth.
And Kanaan, am I pronouncing it right? Kanaan.
We pronounce it Kanaan.
Kanaan. Say it again.
We have like a glottal stop. Kanaan.
Kanaan.
Yeah, exactly.
Kanaan. Okay, just last week I mastered Anna Balau.
All
Balau.
right.
It took me a long time. So
Yeah.
Kanaan.
Yeah.
There's a space there between the two A's.
Yeah, and just relax after a while and just be like, Kanaan.
Kanaan.
Yeah.
Or just Izzy, maybe. Because you're like Madonna, Cher, and Izzy. Izzy, by the way, I gotta say, cool name, Izzy. I'm thinking of all the great Izzies in this universe.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to know how that came about?
Yeah.
Because when I first moved here, I had an accent and I couldn't say Isabel, and I would say Isabel. And every time I'd introduce myself to people, I'm like, I'm saying it differently than how other people say it, but I couldn't deduct what it was.
Right.
And only until I went to acting school where they said, no, it's a Z when you say your name, like Isabel. And that was the thing I was missing. I was saying Isabel, with an S. Yeah.
Sure.
And so, I don't know. Someone in high school was like, "Oh, Isabel, Izzy," and I'm like, I'm taking that. Thank you.
Yeah, Izzy's a great handle actually. Just roll with Izzy. Shout out to Izzy Stradlin. I'm thinking of all the great Izzy's here. Okay, so 16. Your parents say we're moving to someplace near Toronto, I guess, because you probably know where Toronto is, and you're like, what? Although your aunt lives in Burlington, so maybe you know a little more. But had you ever visited Canada before?
Yes, we did, as almost like a recon mission. I think it was 2004, so about 4 years before we moved. And yeah, we came during the winter time. I think my parents were like, this is what we're going to deal with.
Yeah, you should see it at us at our worst. So you can, you're not going to be hit surprised.
Exactly,
blindsided.
and we really did. My parents handled that really, really well. Okay. No surprises on our parts.
And what kind of weather were you used to in Manila? Just remind us, those of us who have never been. What kind of weather typically do you get year-round in Manila?
Okay, it's either sun or rain. Those are our seasons. Some people don't understand that not everywhere in the world has, we don't have seasons. it baffles me what seasons are. The fact that I need a closet of clothes for each different season. Right. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna have my summer clothes, and then in the wintertime, I just put on a coat. That is not the case at all. And I had to learn about this for years. It took a long time for me to adapt to seasons.
Yeah, that's all I know, right? So it's all about what do you know? Like, so that's all I know, that we have these 4 seasons, and a couple are kind of similar because my fall and spring stuff is kind of like just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And winter's very different from summer. Now I'm in the whole like socks are oppressive. I throw in a t-shirt and shorts and I go. That's it. But in the winter, it's like there's layers, and it's just this is how we roll in the GTA. But in Manila, you said you got your sun. And you got your rain.
Yep, and that's it. Like cold, that doesn't even. And the cold.
So what is a cold day in Manila? Like
a cold day in Manila is in the movie theater when they like blast the AC. That is a cold day in Manila.
Right. Okay. So speaking, of course, the international language of Celsius. If you found out in Manila it was 18 degrees, is that a winter day in Manila? Give me a vibe there.
Yeah, I think before I left, the coldest it ever went to was 17, and I remember we were busting out the jackets.
17.
We were like, what is this? The 17. Apocalypse is coming.
Meanwhile, that's like summer in Burlington, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, my goodness. All right. By the way, is Burlington getting what we're getting here? I just went for a bike ride, and I wore a mask because of the air quality. Is it like that in Burlington right now?
It's a bit less, but yes, it still is.
Okay, so you're rocking a mask due to the smoke?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, smart. That's it's smart. I don't think it's good for us to be ingesting all that forest fire smoke. Okay, so 16 years old, you're moving to Burlington. It sounds like you have a boyfriend in Manila, and you got a teenager life. You're in high school. Did you consider like tapping out and just saying, I'm going to stay here? Like, or you're still 16, you don't have this right or ability to do that?
They actually gave us a choice. They gave us the choice to, but we all had to land. We all had to land in Canada and come back, or we just land and stay. And at that point, I was like, I don't want to, back in the day, school started in July in the Philippines, and here in Canada, it started in September.
Right.
And we moved in August. So if I move here, land, and then move back, I'm like, no, you know what? Let's just start a new year here. And
you're so close to being done high school, right? What do you got, 1 or 2 years left when you get
1 year.
Wow.
I came during senior season, and everyone was not looking for friends. They were like, there's no...
All the cliques are like assembled, right? Yeah, you don't let in a new joiner in the last year of high school.
Exactly, and everyone's already moving on because in their heads, they're going to college, university, or even taking a trip to Europe, backpacking. And I was there like, hey, want to be friends? No one did. No one.
What did you do? This sounds terrible. Like, did you find some friends finally? Like, what did you do?
I did eventually. Some people took me in, and it was nice, but it was very much like survival friendship. We were friends for 1 year, and then we all lost touch.
Okay, so you're finishing up your high school in Burlington. I have family in Burlington, but I still never go. Like, even though I feel like I could bike to Burlington, like it's not very far. That's not very far. Okay, but you're in Hamilton now, though. Okay, so your family moves to Burlington. Mm-hmm. What do you do after high school? Like, I'm curious when you get this acting bug.
Oh, well, technically I got it in high school in the Philippines already.
Okay, that's an important detail. So you're in the Philippines, you're a teenager, and you want to act.
Yes, and I wanted to go to the University of Philippines in the theater program. That was my goal back in the Philippines, and then I moved here, and I was like, what? I didn't know the distinction of Hollywood, U.S., Canada. To me, it was all like the Western world. And so I thought, this is where Hollywood is. And I'm like, I can't be an actor here. So I was like, screw that. So I put it in the back burner and I went into math.
There's a University of Philippines? Like, that would be like having a University of Canada.
Yeah, there is.
Is that the biggest university in the Philippines to get that title? Like, that to me is amazing to name a university after the country, because normally we name it after the city or the region or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the
Or
biggest
province. My
one.
wife went to the University of Alberta,
Right.
and that's a province, but University of Philippines. Wow, I had no
Yeah.
idea. Okay. Amazing. And that's obviously in Manila, and you were going to take theater there. So what did you end up doing after high school?
I went into math.
Okay, my wife went into math. This is amazing. Okay, so you went to university to study math?
Yeah, I wanted to get into teaching. So
yeah.
I was like, all right, let's do that. And slowly when I was there, I met some teachers at the time, and they were, or should I say, graduates of the teaching, lifestyle. Sure. And they said, oh no, there are no jobs right now.
Oh.
Yeah, and they were having such a hard time, and I was like, well, what am I doing here? And then I met somebody who just graduated the acting for camera and voice program at Seneca College. Okay. And he was like talking it up, and I was like, and at this point I've been in Canada for 4 or 5 years. So I've come into my own. Culture shock is done. And so I'm like, okay, I think I can do this again, and that was when I was like, okay, you know what? If the teachers are telling me not to go into this, and this new actor is telling me to go into this, I'm like, all right, maybe I can do this. So I did it.
You did it. Now, my most recent guest also was going to be a teacher. This is a Monday night I recorded with a woman named Kim McDonald, and she was going to be a teacher because her parents were teachers. She was going to be a teacher, and she got the bug not to act, but to be like a radio personality. Like, she got the I want to be in front of a microphone and talk for a living bug, and then she pursued that, and she's been at the Weather Network, which is in Oakville, so kind of between, for like 25 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you were going to be a teacher, and you got the bug to be an actress, but you were not going to move to Hollywood. You were going to try to do it from here.
Yeah, because, back when I was a kid and Canada and the States were all the same, once I got here, I realized, the States is completely different from Canada. And Canada's way better. And so...
Thank you. I've been telling people that, and they're like, well, what about, USA is the biggest country. I'm like, no, Canada's better.
Yeah. So I still don't have the bug to move to the States for acting or anything, really. And hey...
But Izzy, you revealed you were born in 91, and I did the math. You're not the only one who can do math, and you're still young enough. You might change your mind and end up in L.A. like many Canadian pursuing a acting career.
I mean, maybe, who knows? But I just bought a house in Hamilton. I mean, come on. If this isn't settling down.
Okay, well, we're going to get to some of the hot stuff you're doing here in Canada. But I wanted to ask you about maybe like the most famous thing on your resume as we kind of build you up here, which is that you were a member of the sketch comedy troupe Royal Canadian Air Farce.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Now, the Air Farce no more, right? I mean, I had Don Ferguson in the basement.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I love him.
Is he a good guy?
He's a very good guy.
I actually know that because he was here and I felt he was a good guy. I wanted to hear if you thought he was a good guy.
He was a good guy and a chill guy.
He did that forever. Like, like when it was like radio only. Like, Don Ferguson's an OG of the Air Farce.
Oh, man. He's amazing. Like, that goals. To be that chill at that age in this industry, yes.
So how do you end up as a member of the Royal Canadian Air Farce? And give us a vibe of like when you were there and who were your fellow cast members.
So I was at Second City doing the I just finished the conservatory program, and then I got into the NBC Universal Bob Curry Fellowship, and that
sounds, I don't know what that means, but it sounds like impressive.
Yeah, I make it sound impressive.
Whenever you say fellowship, whoa, right? She's in like like a fellowship.
Ew.
Wow.
I wish we had rings, but no, there wasn't. Anyway, and there was this showcase where we had to showcase things that we wrote, and we had to act in it in front of the Second City stage, and the producers there were from Air Force. They saw me, and at this point they were looking for new faces for their new
And maybe,
season.
if I may, they might be thinking, hey, enough of like white faces. What if
Yep.
we had a face that wasn't white?
Exactly. Luckily, they saw my face. And they invited me over to audition. And back in this day, I did not know Royal Canadian Air Force. So to me, it was just another audition. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to
You didn't Google it beforehand? No, she didn't.
At
everybody.
this point, I was just getting so many auditions that I'm like, okay, what is this? It's a sketch comedy show. Great.
Okay, so this is like and again, just because for a while they were just doing like New Year's Eve specials at the end there. Like so this is a CBC sketch comedy show,
Yes.
but you didn't really care for the legacy of this, long-running institution in this country. Although we did kill this institution. It's gone now, which we'll get to later in a minute. But okay, so you just auditioned like you would audition for anything, and they liked what they saw.
Yes, they did. And they got me in for what is it? Canada 150. Canada 150 special. That's it. And so I was in that special, and they brought me on for the New Year's Eve specials after that.
Right.
And that was so fun. And I did my research after. And I mean, shortly after, like I did the audition.
Yeah.
And then I started telling people I got it. And they were like, you know this is a big deal, right? I'm like, really? And then I went on the internet and I was like, oh, awesome.
The Royal Canadian Air Force. Can you remember any of your fellow cast members at this time you were with the Royal Canadian Air Force?
John Ferguson was in there.
Okay, so go slowly. Okay,
Yeah.
John Ferguson, he's an FOTM. Please continue. I'm a friend of Toronto.
Luba Goy.
I got to get Luba on the program. Yeah, of course, Luba Goy.
Yeah. Daryl Hines. Who was there at
Daryl Hines, there are no other kinds.
There was, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on their names. They are gonna kill me. But I wasn't.
Was there a gentleman named Craig?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Only because he's an FOTM, and I was waiting for you to name
Yes.
him.
Oh, Craig's amazing too. I'm sorry, I forgot you, Craig.
on,
I
Craig.
didn't
Craig is
forget.
the best.
I'm not forgetting them. I see their faces. I'm really good at faces, but I'm really bad at names. There is also. I know you have it.
No, but I don't. Now I feel like I put you on the spot, and maybe I should let you off the hook here. Like,
Gimme.
I don't have it. I want me to
What?
Google it.
Yeah, just Google it. I know.
All
the
right, keep
faces.
trying, and I will Google it.
Jessica Holmes. Is
Yes,
Holmes her last
Jessica
name?
Holmes,
Yes.
absolutely a member of the Air Force at this time.
Yes,
I don't even
yes.
need to Google that.
Oh, I love that. I loved her. She got pregnant.
Oh,
what is her
okay.
name?
I like this
She-
game. Who else? Got pregnant.
Comedian. She's in the Beaverton.
I'm not going to be able to bail you out on this one.
Just saw her in the
You just saw
Canadian
her.
Screen Awards.
Penelope.
too. No.
No. Okay.
Uh,
don't
oh
know.
my
I actually
gosh.
don't know. I mean, I can go in, but this is
Emma Hunter.
Emma Hunter. I was
thank
about to say,
goodness.
of course, Emma Hunter. All right. Oh, here's a photo of all of you here. So this is the 150. Okay. So
Oh my
1,
goodness.
2,
Whew.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 people, and they're not all white. That's actually quite the.
And I was a new
impressive,
hire with Chris Wilson at the time as well.
Okay.
So-
Shout out to all these wonderful people. So the Air Force, in fact, I think the very last New Year's Eve special was 2019, and Don Ferguson came over to talk about it. But sadly, that's the end of the Royal Canadian Air Force. That's a shame.
I know. Just when I found out about it.
Yeah, well, just when you got on the cast, it's like, what the heck? I just got here. Let's go another 45 years.
Am I cursed?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to. We'll see. You'll see. So let's walk through things. So what did you do after the Royal Canadian Air Force, or even concurrently? Because I know you actors can't just do one thing at a time. You gotta do multiple things at a time.
Exactly. What did I do at the time as well? I lived in Toronto at the time, so I was doing Sunday Night Live in the Comedy Bar with the Sketchersons. AA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. The Sketchersons have won a Canadian Comedy Award.
Yes, and that's fun. I just wanted to dip my toes in every Canadian legendary troupe out there. I did 22 minutes also. One season or whatever that was.
Series, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another huge CBC comedy institution. This hour has 22 minutes. So you were already at your young age, you've been a part of the Royal Canadian Air Force, and this hour has 22 minutes. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's cool.
You're putting it together. You're doing so well that you were able to afford a home in Toronto's Brooklyn that is known as Hamilton. Amazing.
Yeah.
When you were living in Toronto, what neighborhood did you live in?
I lived by the stockyards.
Yeah, of course. You know, it used to, when I was growing up, it smelled there, bad. Because all the Packers
still
playing.
Did.
It's this part, you're right. Because my oldest son played at George Bell Arena. Do you know where that is? Anyway,
No,
it's not far. It's not far from where you are there. And there is still some packing plants down that strip there, and there is still a bit of a stench. But that St. Clair and Kiel area was just stinky.
But hey, I'm from the Philippines. There are wet markets.
Is it stinky in the Philippines?
I mean,
what is this?
Yeah, yes. I hate to say this, but yes, it kind of is. And so the stockyards was nothing compared to that.
What I like the Philippines, I know since I met my wife, she has not been back to the Philippines. She had been there previously, but would I love the Philippines? You don't sound. You're supposed to say, "Of course I would." No, but tell me the truth. Would I like the Philippines?
Do you like heat?
Yeah.
Then yes, because I know some people. A lot of Canadians, they're like, "I cannot do heat."
Oh, I like heat.
So yes, you're fine. You're fine.
In fact, Izzy.
Oh.
Sometimes I'm very emphatic to tell you. Sometimes it'll be I don't know. They'll say it's 30 degrees today. Don't be careful because with the Humidex, it's going to feel 35 degrees. And people will be like, Mike, you're not biking today at 35 degrees. And I will actually, not only will I do my regular bike ride and go for 90 minutes of hard cycling, but I will think to myself, I could do another 5 degrees. I like that feeling of that wall of heat.
Yes,
I like it.
Gosh, you would thrive in the Philippines. Let's go.
I'm in the wrong. Forget Denmark. I'm changing my answer. But what about the fact that here I'm ignoring calls. I hope I'm not ignoring anything important there. What about the fact that I don't know, there's a bit of a crazy dictator there. I'm not should I be worried about the stability of leadership in the Philippines?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're on vacation there, it's fine. But just don't
because you have a Marcos family of the Marcos family is in charge.
Yes,
and we all know about Ferdinand and Imelda Marcos.
And this is their legacy, I guess. And he's there. I don't know what else to say about this.
Look, you're not responsible for this. I'm just trying to get my ducks lined up before I make a decision to return. But you're telling me I would enjoy it because it's hot.
Yeah. And for vacation. Don't move there. There's still corruption there and all that stuff. I mean, we moved for a reason,
the previous
right?
President.
Oh gosh.
Am I right? If I got caught smoking weed, I could be killed?
Yeah.
That's bullshit, Izzy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine I'm smoking a little weed and they can put a bullet in my head because of this drug use?
See, I think that's why I was so baffled by Don Ferguson's chillness, because in the Philippines, because there is no weed that's legal, the just chillness is not almost a thing. So, yeah.
I think, is Don's chillness due to cannabis consumption? I need to get him back here. I had no idea. I just thought he was a natural born chillster, but cannabis would help with that. Absolutely. I don't care how hot it is in the Philippines. I'm not going. I can't go somewhere. Not that I need to consume cannabis. I could easily not consume cannabis when I'm in the Philippines. But the whole idea that you're going to shoot someone for doing, especially because there's a thing called, Izzy, I'm not going to mansplain addiction to you, but there are people addicted to drugs, okay?
Yes.
They might even need to, shoot up drugs because of their addiction. And this is something that, that's why we have safe injection sites in this country, and that's why we have methadone clinics, and we're trying to help people kick their opiate addiction, their heroin addiction. Imagine making that, criminalizing that to a point where you could be killed. I'm offended.
Well, guess what?
What is he?
in the Philippines, divorce isn't a thing. And guess what?
Oh, God. I'm definitely not going there.
It's also illegal to... What is this? To cheat on your partner. I mean, which, you shouldn't anyway, but for it to be illegal and you could be jailed.
Because this is consenting adult stuff now, right? So consenting adult out of wedlock because you're married to someone is jailable offense.
Yeah, and because there's no divorce, it kind of happens a lot.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Philippines likes to trap
I'm a
people.
divorced man. I would be. It would be illegal what I did in the country of the Philippines.
Oh yeah. They like to trap you in a marriage in a non-drug use environment, and when you stray, pa-pow.
Okay, well, this explains. Maybe this is also part of the reason your parents said, "Hey, let's move to Burlington." Here, that's a lot of rules.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm sticking around here. So, and I will just say that the Stockyards is a great neighborhood now. Like you're pretty much junction there, and there's it's
exactly.
amazing neighborhood. Like what a beautiful neighborhood in Toronto that you were living in. But of course, you're in Hamilton now. That's how much you loved it in the Stockyards.
I mean, I was West End. I figured I'd just keep going west.
Well, you're from Burlington, so you already had the head start there. Okay, so you're on this hour has 22 minutes. Can I play? This is a little left field. I don't know, but I'm going to play a little clip of something, and then I'm going to ask you what the hell I'm playing.
Sure.
Are you ready, Izzy?
Yeah.
This is not very long, like 40 seconds long. Let's listen to this.
Yeah.
Receiving the Top 25 award meant the world to me because as an immigrant, we always deal with this identity crisis of like we don't know where we belong, we don't know where we call home. Receiving that award made me feel like Canada finally embraced me and that I can finally call it my home. Every immigrant wants to feel that we aren't any lesser than anyone else, we are all equal. And this award really celebrates that.
Izzy, what was that?
That was the RBC Canadian... Wait, how do I say this? RBC Top 25 Canadian Immigrant Awards.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a prestigious award.
Yeah. I love when people are like, so you got an award for being an immigrant? And I'm like, no, for being a great immigrant.
One of our very best immigrants. This is a country built by new Canadians. That's amazing that you recognize. So RBC, what did you get? A plaque? What did you get?
Yes, I did get a plaque.
Okay. And do you have it like prominently displayed somewhere?
So I just bought the house, and so we haven't moved in yet, but it will.
I'm learning
be.
so much. So, okay, so you have, is it a brand new home or just new to you?
It's new to me.
Okay, so the closing date hasn't come yet.
Oh, it just came.
Oh my God.
But
is that where Andre is right now? He's closing. He's getting the key. Okay, this is exciting.
Well,
okay.
I'm here.
And Hamilton, they're not giving away houses in Hamilton, right? Like it's not like, yay, I bought a house for 20 grand. No, like this is, it's still like.
No, I saved
expensive.
my butt off. Yeah.
Did Andre help? What is his career? Am I allowed to ask or is that private?
Oh, no, of course you can ask. He's in sales right now, but we actually met during a Fringe show in Toronto back in the day. We were both actors, young actors.
Oh my God. And young actors in this country buying a home? Now I've seen everything.
Okay, no. That's the thing. And then we grew up. That's where we met. And then recently, 2 years ago, we reconnected and then got together and then bought a house just this past week.
Good for you. Congratulations on that. So, okay, so I'm going to give you something that might help you because you might have the house and you might not have the hydro turned on yet because you got to work that out with hydro. I have a flashlight for you courtesy of Ridley Funeral Home.
Amazing. Ooh.
Pillars of this community since 1921. I'm actually recording a remote episode tomorrow. So tomorrow's Thursday, June 29. I don't know, around 6:30 p.m. at Lakeshore Arts, which is in Mimico. I'm going to be like recording live with Brad Jones. It's not an episode of Toronto Mic'd. It's going to be an episode of Brad's podcast, Life's Undertaking. So if anyone in Mimico wants to drop by, I think it's open to the public. You can drop by and chat up Brad Jones and I as we record from Lakeshore Arts on Lakeshore in Mimico. Shout out to Mimico. Okay. Also, since, again, you don't drink the beer, Andre's got the beer. but you do get this wireless speaker courtesy of Moneris.
Woo! Awesome.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I actually just coming over here, I was listening to classical. I just put on
what
a
happened to you?
Spotify. I love
Sounds
it.
boring.
No, dude, I put it's a specific playlist called Epic Classical.
Oh, so you know what's on there? Can I guess? It's got Ride of the Valkyries by Wagner.
There are two playlists. One that does have all the classical, and I think this is Epic New Classical or something like that.
Oh, there's new classical?
Yeah, exactly. People are still making classical music, and it's great.
But now it's all like movie scores.
Yes, I also listen to a lot of movie scores.
Yeah, John Williams and such. Absolutely. Or like, yeah, I'm going to listen to the score from like Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm that person that
So no lyrics in your music.
Well, I do listen to Viking shanties every now and again, and
Really? You really should have gone to Scandinavia there. Okay.
yes, I do love it.
Okay, Viking, that's cool. I knew it made a comeback. I had a guest on from Great Big Sea. His name is Sean McCann, and he literally just goes and tours around singing like sea shanties now. Like they're big right now.
I love the harmonies that they do, and just the low bass, and oh, it's so good. I love it.
And you this might be because you're a TikToker, which means I've never seen you before in this game. So I'm not on TikTok. But like all the good stuff in TikTok will usually find its way to me via Reddit or Twitter. Just as a Gen Xer, I just want to let you know I'm not allowed on TikTok. But sea shanties were big on TikTok for a while there, and you got a TikTok thing going on, right?
Yeah, I do.
Well, someone listening might have a TikTok account, so shout out your like what they just search for.
I mean, it's just my name, Isabel Kanaan. Yeah.
Okay, and spell Isabel for everybody.
ISABELKANAAN, and you can find me on TikTok, Insta, Facebook. Is just all the same.
Finder. Okay, so. Tell me about the Filipino channel.
Ooh,
like are you still the Canadian correspondent? You joined the Filipino channel at some point.
Yeah. So it was actually during the pandemic, and talk about the last president that we had. So our network in the Philippines, there were these two big networks, GMA and ABS-CBN.
This is Duarte.
Duterte.
This is the guy real big on shooting the drug users.
Yes, exactly.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So he was like, okay, so there are two networks. One likes me better, and so I'm going to shut down the other one. That was ABS-CBN, and so they are in charge of the Filipino
dictatorship,
channel.
you know. These are signs that you're in a dictatorship.
Woo-hoo.
Did you democratically elect Duarte?
They did, yep. Or
well, Hitler got elected democratically, I think, in the beginning before, removing that little feature of democracy. Okay, please.
But again, corruption. Who knows if the votes were actually counted?
Right. That's like when Vladimir Putin tells you, "I won another election."
Exactly.
My 99% of the votes.
Yep.
Oh man.
So anyway,
okay. So the Filipino channel.
Yes. So they decided, okay, he's gonna shut us down here. Let's bring the Filipino channel to the rest of the world. And so they were needing people in Canada. They saw me. They reached out, and I was like, yeah, I watched you growing up.
Is that like the CBC of the Philippines?
So because there were two. So yes, it was one of them, I guess. Right. It was CBC 1 and CBC 2.
But this president shut one down because it was unkind to him?
Yeah.
Wow, that's bullshit.
Yep. And here we are, the Filipino channel, and I was doing a show there called BRGY, which is Barangay, which means the town. And that was really cool. It's like, I'm part of the community. So yeah, and we would do news segments. We would interview people from all around the world, that have Filipino ties. And, we even had like one theme that were people who just love the Filipino culture, so they themselves were not Filipino, but we just got them in, and we're like, yeah, we love people who love the Philippines.
Yeah, shoot, right on. Yeah, a lot of lovely people from the Philippines, even if there's some fucked up shit going on over there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not I failed to tell you why I gave you it. Why did Mike just give me a wireless speaker? Like just to listen to your classical music? No, because in addition to your classical music, Izzy, you're going to listen to season 4 of Yes, We Are Open. This is an inspiring podcast hosted by FOTM Al Grego. Al's been traveling the country, conversing with like small business owners and entrepreneurs, gathering their stories to share with you and I. It'll inspire the mess out of you. Season 4 of Yes, We Are Open. It's a Moneras podcast. That's what you're going to listen to on that wireless speaker.
I will. Right in between my Viking shanties.
Oh, you want to sing with me? All right, cherry picking a few things here before we get to abroad, which is, I have a clip I want to play before we talk about abroad because my wife is very excited about abroad. I just want you to know we're excited in this home. What is Tita Collective?
Tita Collective was a group of like-minded Filipina. We were friends, and we were like, let's do a sketch comedy show, and so we did, and that's that.
Well, Tita, like I know because I'm in the club here. It's like aunt, right? It's like you're Tito and Tita.
Yes.
Tito Mike. I get called Tito Mike.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. Okay, and you won some awards for the Tita Collective.
Yes, we did Fringe, and we won the Best Outstanding Comedy or Best New Comedy. I forget.
Well, you won something.
Yeah, and then we won Best Newcomer Award in the Toronto Sketch Festival. Yes. Yeah.
Good for you. Okay. Selected TV credits that I was just looking at. I just want to shout some of these out because these are just like some Canadian institutions here. But Hudson and Rex?
Yes!
Did you get to go to like Newfoundland or
Yes,
something?
I did.
Amazing. Okay, how was that?
It was hilarious because I didn't realize that as you were doing your bit, you're in the scene and you're just supposed to talk. I didn't know that the what are they called? Like the handler of the dog. So as I was delivering my monologue, they would just go, I forget the dog's actual name, but let's say it's like Gabby. They just go, Gabby! And I'm just like, huh? And they're like, why is she stopping? Keep going. And I'm like, oh, I just have to go through. Oh, okay. That was funny. That was my first time acting with a dog.
Okay, well, you know, if they ever do a reboot of Turner and Hooch. Yeah, you don't remember
you lost
Turner.
me.
Okay, I lost you. Turner and Hooch. I think it was Tom Hanks, I think, was in Turner and Hooch, but it was a movie with, I'm trying to think of like people and dog things. Turner and Hooch jumped in my head. Okay, but if they do a reboot, you have experience now working with a canine. Okay, so Hudson and Rex. Mm-hmm. Let's shout out a couple more here. Let's shout out Nurses. This was is this still active? I mean, it's a global show. So Hudson and Rex, you can find that on City TV, I believe. Nurses on Global. And if you have something you want to add to this, but I'm going to list a few more. The Good Witch.
Yeah.
That's a Hallmark. Is that like a Hallmark movie? Or
No, it's a TV show.
Okay, I hear about Hallmark things. I'm like, I don't know where Hallmark is, but wow, okay. This Artworks, that was a CBC Arts. You forgot you did that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Second Gen, but Gen, of course, Jen. That's on Omni, okay, so that's going to segue nicely to abroad. But I want to shout out Bruce McCullough. I think he was directing Tall Boys.
Yeah.
So that's another sketch comedy, and I mean they were filming very close to here, but that's a CBC sketch comedy. So you're just going through all the sketch comedy shows.
Yeah. I mean, might as well.
You got to get on Kids in the Hall. That's my favorite sketch comedy show of all time.
Oh, of course.
Speaking of Bruce McCullough. Okay. And they are, like, I don't know if that new season, I think it did. I liked the new season. They did a new season on Prime.
Yeah.
And I liked it quite a bit. I hope they make another one.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And if they do, I just hope you're in it, Izzy. That's all. I'm just trying to help you get on at least one member of Kids in the Halls and FOTM. I just want to get you in on all these sketch comedy shows.
I just have like a bingo card of sketch comedy shows.
All right. So we're going to get to abroad now. Did I miss anything else like you would like to talk about before we dive into abroad? I don't want to have skipped over anything. I know you were one of Toronto. I don't know. I think your bio's got some interesting stuff in there. There was the Mirthful Mix.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. There's lots going on here. But is there anything you wanted to shout out before we get to abroad?
Shout out to the Toronto theater community. Pew, pew,
Okay.
pew, and the Toronto improv
All of
community.
them.
Pew, 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 pew.
Do we have a thriving improv community in Toronto?
Oh my gosh, yes. That's why I got into it in the first place. Like sketch comedy was because of the improv community.
But now you're in Hamilton. That sounds far away from Toronto, but close enough, I guess.
Yes, close enough in my heart.
Because now you're looking bigger now, like series and movies. You know,
Yes.
so you could do that from Hamilton because you can fly to places. Hamilton even has an airport.
Yes, they do.
I know. I've made it. Sometimes you can. You know, it's cheaper to pick someone up in Hamilton than it is at YYZ. So I'm giving you some pro tips here. Oh my goodness, here. Couple more quick hits before we get to abroad. I got a great clip to introduce it to, but I want to shout out recyclemyelectronics.ca because if you, Izzy, or Andre have some old, maybe you're moving into your new home in Hamilton and you got some old electronics or old tech or some old devices you want to get rid of, don't throw them in the garbage. You go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. Find out the closest depot that they've accredited where you can drop it off to be safely and properly recycled. Thank you, recyclemyelectronics.ca. And if you need any improved representation with regards to PR, Izzy, I'm just going to let you know about my friends at the Moment Lab. They do brand marketing and strategy and PR and advertising and production. And I'd be happy to introduce you to Matt or Jared. They are at the Moment Lab. They have a great team that'll help you strategize and design your PR goals. So thank you, the Moment Lab. You want me to play this clip and then we're going to get into this?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's listen.
Oh my gosh, you're here! Okay. Welcome to Abroad! My name is Isabel, and a little about me, Filipina, immigrant, amateur food crocheter. Teka, nanonosebleed ako sa kaka-Ingles. Mag-Tagalog nga muna tayo. Para sa mga di nakakatagalog dyan, huwag kayong mag-alala. Tumingin lang kayo dito. Can you believe it? Imigranteng Pilipina may sariling palabas dito! You don't see us Filipinos too often on TV. Except when we're singing our hearts out on America's Got Talent. Abroad is like an all-inclusive vacation, minus the free buffet and epic hangovers. Para to sa lahat! Immigrants, second-geners, even you, Doug from Winnipeg. We see you. This show has everything. We even have special guests like Bruno Mars.
I'm about to get my Filipino funk on. And to all my fans out there, mahal ko kayo.
Kakakilig naman. 24K magic if you know what I mean. So, sit back, kumain muna kayo ng chichirya. Cause we're going abroad.
Oh my goodness. We're going abroad. This is an Omni TV show. But tell me about what, like, you're not just a hired gun to act in this thing. Like, tell me everything you've done for Abroad. Tell me how this came to be. Talk to me about Abroad. My wife is very excited to dive in.
Well, it started actually the producers of Air Farce. They liked me and I liked them. And so they were like, we want to do a show, especially because, you know, Air Farce ended. We want to do a show. And so I was working closely with them, pitching shows here and there. And I decided to do some TikToks because I just learned about TikTok, and it was my sketch diary because I don't know, I just love videoing and recording and editing, and so that was the social media platform for me. And so I did some sketches there, some, you know, minute-long sketches, even 15-second long sketches, and because it was TikTok, I would also put it up on Instagram for people to see.
That's for the older people.
Exactly. And that's where they saw it. And they're like, Izzy, we want to do a show around this. And I'm like, wait, what? Around my TikToks? And they're like, yes, we want to do a sketch show around you. And I was like, okay, buddy.
Wow. Wow, that must have made you feel good.
It was, I was like imposter syndrome to the max. I was like, what? No, you're no. And I don't know. I just didn't believe that my TikToks, you know what I mean? Like based off my TikToks, someone would be like, we want to do a show about this. I didn't believe it. And shout out to them because they believed in me more than I did and supported me. And all throughout this process, they are very good at giving me what I need for the show, and that Abroad was made because of that, because of us.
Well, you're a co-creator.
Yes.
And you're the star.
Yes.
And this is now season 2.
Yes.
That literally debuted, I'm looking at, like a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
June 11th.
Yeah.
And am I right that these episodes are available in English and Tagalog?
Yes.
Did I say Tagalog right?
Yes, you did.
I am very proud of that. I just want you to know.
Yeah, it's a half and half show. And don't worry, there are subtitles for those that don't speak either.
Good. That's good. Now, okay, so is it available? Is this like one of those shows where it's only in Canada? Are there other countries interested? Is the plan to sell this to other countries? I'm just curious because right now we get it on Omni, and what's the plan for the world to enjoy abroad?
Yeah, that is the plan later on. But right now we're doing the Canada rounds, as you will, and so Omni is it.
Well, no, Canada's a big country. No
Yeah.
shame in that.
Oh,
But these,
for sure.
so again, just to be clear here, it's not just for Filipino-Canadians. Like, the fact is, Filipino-Canadians, this should be mandatory viewing, okay? Because this immigrant experience, particularly Filipinos moving to Canada, like, that's the heart of this thing. But I think anyone who enjoys comedy would enjoy this, or, you got to be Filipino-Canadian or GTFO. You tell me.
Yeah, it's amazing because we've been putting up clips also on social media, and the comments aren't just from Filipinos. They're people from different cultures saying, "Oh my gosh, my auntie does this. My nana does this."
I think Russell Peters, right? Who's from Brampton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big deal. But his comedy, you don't have to be an immigrant from a certain country. It's almost like he captures the essence of like the immigrant experience. So you don't need to. You might not have necessarily your family might not have emigrated from the Philippines. You still will appreciate the sentiment of being a new Canadian.
Yes, exactly. Like your first time at Costco. Like we you remember that experience? We've captured that in abroad.
Right. Okay. Do you want to shout out who else is in this series with you? Even though you play Bruno Mars and many other characters, like who else is in this series with you?
We have Nico Lorenzo Garcia, Joy Castro, Justine Santiago, Aldrin Bundock. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You better remember this cast.
5,
My goodness. Is that everybody?
Is that it? 1,
Are
2,
they all Filipino Canadians
5.
or Canadians of Filipino descent?
Yes, they're all Filipino Canadians, and it's amazing because we're all in different styles, kinds of immigrants. So, for example, Aldrin was born in the Philippines but moved here at 4 years old. But then Justine speaks Tagalog, but she was born here, and you know what I mean. And then Nico was actually, he was from there as well, and he speaks Tagalog and moved here.
But then there's my wife, I will say, who was
yeah.
born in Edmonton, okay, because her parents emigrated obviously before she was born, but doesn't speak a stitch of Tagalog, even though her parents, and I actually don't understand. I'm like, why can't you speak some Tagalog? What's up with that? She's upstairs. Maybe before you leave, you can I ask her for me. What's going on? But she completely lacks that language.
I mean, I don't blame her though, because when I first moved, I remember some people in my family telling me, don't speak Tagalog out.
Oh, this
loud.
is like an assimilation
Exactly.
bullshit too, by the way.
Yep.
This is Canada. We're not a melting pot. We're a cultural mosaic.
Mm-hmm. And so I thought that's what I had to do also. And so, hey, maybe they were taught this the same way, right?
On that note, so I just played like that intro clip to, is that the first episode of season 2?
No,
it's the first episode of season 1.
Yes. Season
okay,
1.
so that was the origin story there. Okay, it's like, I was thinking like, we used to have theme songs that explain the premise to us, okay? Think about the Brady Bunch or Gilligan's Island or even like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, there are all these theme songs and you listen to them and it's like, okay, now I know where we're at, like, or something. Like, it's like those intros, they explain everything. But when I listened to in that clip, I hear because I hear this accent quite a bit, as you can imagine. I was did you have a debut? Do you know what a debut is?
Yes. When you turn 18. When you turn 18, you have this big birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just at my first debut 2 weekends ago, I want to say, in Ajax, Ontario. And I had a lot of questions. Like, what do you mean it's a debut? Like, what are we talking about here? And it's like, yeah, it's a massive, like, there were candles and you had like 18 people stand up for you. And it was a whole like a ceremony. And it was my first experience at this debut. But where am I going with this? Okay, I'm going with this. You sound like you have an accent in that clip I played that I don't hear talking to you for the last hour.
It happens. It comes and goes when I'm speaking to my family. It comes when I'm just thinking in Tagalog, because especially there I go back and forth between English and Tagalog, right? And so if I'm going back and forth, the placement of Canada tongue is in the back of the throat, where Tagalog is more in front. And so when I think in Tagalog, my mouth just automatically goes to the front of my mouth. And so
there it is. Okay, because my wife's name is Monica, and if I hear a member of her family from the Philippines say her name, it's more like Monica, like it's Monique. It's not Monica, it's Monique.
Monica, yeah.
Monica,
yeah,
like that.
Monica.
Although I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. Maybe I am. I'm married to Filipino. But okay, so abroad, available now. So if somebody wants to stream abroad, like do you have any tips on how somebody right now might want to check out abroad?
You can go to omnitv.ca. There's no app, but everybody can go on
Well, people can know how web browsers work, right?
Exactly.
So, okay. I pulled that clip. I was able to watch that first episode streaming from the website. So you can find abroad, and again, you're not just a co-creator, but you're writing this thing, you're starring in this thing. Like, the idea is for abroad to take off and travel the world like Schitt's Creek. Okay, this is the idea. Abroad's the new Schitt's Creek. Is that the plan?
I mean,
you'll settle for Kim's Convenience. Is that what I'm hearing?
I am a big believer in not taking a place of something, and we have space for all of these. So,
well, their Schitt's Creek is over now. You're not taking their place, but okay. And what, like, because you're still very young and things are starting to move and shake for you, Izzy. So I'm just curious, big picture wise, like, where do you want to go with this? Do you envision directing your own? Are you going to be the next Sarah Polley? I know you don't like to take over because she's not going anywhere. There's room for both of you. But is it like you want to be a Sarah Polley? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You tell us, like, what is your plans for world domination here?
I'm a very go with the flow person. I don't have a goal in terms of like, I want to do this or that, in terms of like, I want to have this award or I want this under my belt. It's not necessarily
You don't want a Canadian Screen Award?
Yeah, I mean,
by the way, again, I'm interrupting you. How rude. But Abroad was nominated for a Canadian Screen Award.
Yeah, that was fun.
Did you go, like, did you go to these Canadian Screen Awards?
Yeah, I did.
Where were they?
You
don't remember because you're living the life. You have no memory of where you were when you were at the Canadian Screen Awards.
Honestly, I remember I had to leave early because
was it in Ontario?
I had a shoot the next day. It was in Toronto, actually. Yes, it was in Toronto.
It was in Toronto. Boring. I thought they sent you somewhere exciting. Okay.
Nah.
And who beat you? Do you remember?
I believe it was Tall Boys.
Okay, Tall Boys. I'm still mad that Bruce McCullough didn't reply to my handwritten note I gave him on the set of Tall Boys here in south of Etobicoke. Okay, and I did rudely interrupt you, but I wanted to shout out your Canadian Screen Award nomination.
Yay!
Maybe season 2 you win one. Now that you're an FOTM, it can't hurt. Lots of the judges are listeners of this program, but you were just in the middle of telling me about how Abroad is going to be 6 seasons in a movie.
No goals, but the one goal in terms of doing that I do have is I will keep creating. I think I just love writing and making stuff, so that will never go away. So you can always see me doing something in terms of that.
But don't get comfy now that you're in this Hamilton mansion or whatever and living the good life with, Andre's closing deals. That phone is ringing off the hook, closing deals, getting his commission. Just don't get complacent there. You got to keep keep scratching that creativity itch.
Oh, I always do. And I think this whole time that's what got me to the point that I am in is because I never stopped creating.
And I say this on behalf of my beautiful daughter, Morgan. We need more Filipino-Canadian representation. Like, she needs to see herself on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's where you have come in. If all these roles don't exist, you'll create and write them yourself.
Exactly.
So good on you. Honestly, what you're doing is amazing. And I hope everybody listening checks out Abroad. Woo. And I hope it becomes a big fucking deal. And that people, you really can go by one name, Izzy. None of this Isabel Kanaan.
But I love teaching people how to say it, though.
I know, and I think I did all right?
Yeah.
Okay, how was this for you? Did you enjoy your Toronto Mike debut?
Yes, I'm glad to be an FOTM.
I would say come back one day and kick out the jams with me, but I bet you all your jams are, they have no words. They're all going to be just like movie scores and classical hits. And, well, I would do that if you wanted to kick out the classical. But thanks for doing this. What a pleasure.
Thank you.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,281st show. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Toronto Mike. Just one more time, Izzy. Remind everybody where and how they can follow you.
Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Do you ever tweet?
No. But I do have it. It's just
What is
there.
the handle? Because I would tag you on it because I do a lot of tweeting.
It's the same thing for everything. Isabel Kanaan. ISABELKANAAN.
It helps to have a unique name.
Yep.
Our friends at Great Lakes Brewery are at Great Lakes Beer. This beer is going to Andre. Palma Pasta's at Palma Pasta. That pasta is going to Izzy. Maneris is at Maneris. Recycle My Electronics are at EPRA_Canada. The Moment Lab is at The Moment Lab. And Ridley Funeral Home are at Ridley FH. Couple of programming notes. We have Toast with Rob Pruce and Bob Willett live in the basement, but it's going to be Sunday at 11 a.m. That is actually July 2nd. Originally, it was going to be before Canada Day, and we're kicking out quintessential Canadian jams a day late, but it's still the season, still the long weekend. So you can watch us live at live.torontomike.com at 11 a.m. Sunday. Again, Rob Pruce and Bob Willett, a.k.a. Coy and Vance, in the basement, kicking out quintessential Canadian jams. That's right, Toast is Sunday. See you all then.